Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Imagine writing a piece of software so powerful that the federal government suddenly classifies it as a restricted munition.
Right, and then they just force you to pull the plug, like globally.
Yeah, and today, that is not, a sci-fi script. That actually just happened.
Wow. Well, welcome to Connecting the Dots.
We are your daily show breaking down the biggest tech news and translating what it actually means for your everyday life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
Today is Monday, June 15th, 2026.
And before we get into today's massive tech showdowns, let's take a quick look at what's happening locally and in the markets.
Yeah, so if you are stepping outside in Sacramento today, you really need to brace yourself.
Oh, absolutely. I saw the forecast.
It is going to be an absolute scorcher today. We are looking at sunny skies and a high of 95 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and that light breeze is not going to help much either.
Right. It's only going to be like 2 to 13 miles per hour, so, definitely find some air conditioning.
That is a perfect excuse to just stay inside and catch up on baseball, honestly.
Exactly.
I mean, the Kings might have had the night off yesterday, but out on the diamond, the San Francisco Giants secured a really solid 5-1 win against the Chicago Cubs.
Always good to see.
Yeah, Logan Webb looked great taking the win on the mound.
Oh, for sure. And at least the financial markets provided a bit of stability heading into the weekend, too.
Right. What are the numbers looking like?
So on Friday, the Dow closed up just a bit. It hit 51,202.26.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, and the S&P 500 also edged up. It added a bit to close at 7,431.46.
Nice steady movement there.
Right. Meanwhile, though, for anyone tracking the crypto space, Bitcoin is making some very aggressive moves to open the week.
Oh, what's going on there?
It jumped over $1,100, opening today at 66,851.73.
Wow. Okay, well, that actually sets the stage really nicely for today's report.
It really does. Because today, we are looking at a narrative we're calling the Great Tech Collision.
Yeah, I like that title. Because for the last 2 decades, the tech industry has essentially operated in a Wild West environment.
Right. Oh, totally. Platforms just scaled globally. They absorbed our data, shaped our culture, and with virtually zero friction.
Exactly. But what we are seeing today is the iron fist of global regulation violently slamming down on the table.
Yeah, it's wild. We're looking at 2 unprecedented interventions today. First, the UK is taking some really drastic steps to block teenagers from the algorithmic social media town square.
And meanwhile, the United States government is treating the world's most advanced AI like a weapon of war.
Right. We're watching sovereign governments aggressively trying to rein in borderless technology. It is a high-stakes power struggle that will completely redefine how you interact with the internet.
But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Today's episode is brought to you by Strong Coffee, the premium instant coffee that tastes like a traditional brew, but is packed with 15 grams of protein, MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha. Get clean, sustained energy without the jitters. Use promo code SNARFUL for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com.
All right, let's unpack this morning's Star Tech report.
Yeah, let's do it.
So our primary focus takes us to the United Kingdom today. Prime Minister Keir Starmer just announced what his government is calling a landmark ban on social media for children under the age of 16.
And this isn't just like a vague policy white paper, right?
No, not at all. They expect this to hit Parliament before Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, with the protections going into full effect in spring 2027.
Okay, so this is moving fast.
Very fast. And the Prime Minister's office is explicitly framing this as a rescue mission for families. They want to take power away from the tech giants and, quoting Starmer here, give kids their childhood back.
Which is a powerful message.
It is, but the mechanics of how they actually plan to do this are what we really need to examine. They are adopting the Australia Plus model.
Okay, Australia Plus. So I know Australia recently enacted a similar ban, right?
Exactly, they were the first.
Yeah.
But the UK is layering on significantly more restrictions. That's the plus.
Right, so what does that actually look like for a kid?
Well, the core of the ban targets what they call user-to-user platforms.
Meaning what, exactly?
Basically, any platform whose main purpose is social interaction, where users post material, and this is the crucial part, platforms driven by algorithmic feeds.
Oh, gotcha. So we are talking about fundamentally altering the daily habits of millions of teenagers.
Oh, completely. Under 16s will be legally prevented from using Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X.
That is a massive list.
It is, but there's a huge exemption built into this. Messaging apps like WhatsApp and Signal, they are not included in the ban.
Oh, that's interesting. So why exempt those?
Because that distinction shows the government isn't trying to stop, a 14-year-old from texting their mom or coordinating a study group.
Right, they just want to stop the doom scrolling.
Exactly. They are specifically targeting the psychological mechanisms of social media. The infinite scroll, the algorithmic amplification that keeps you hooked, the performative nature of public feeds. They view those specific mechanisms as harmful to developing brains.
Let's look closer at the plus in this Australia Plus model, though. Because beyond banning algorithmic feeds, the UK is implementing blanket blocks on specific features for kids under 16 across a much wider range of digital services.
Yeah, even gaming sites.
Right. They are completely banning live streaming by children. And they're blocking any functionality that allows strangers to communicate with them online.
Which parents will love. And they're also pushing into the AI space with this legislation.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The government is banning under 18s, so a higher age tier there, from using AI romantic companion chatbots.
Wait, like the deep emotional role-play ones?
Exactly. Bots designed to simulate romantic relationships. They are strictly enforcing an 18-plus age limit there.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you are a working parent listening to this, you might be feeling a massive sense of relief. 9 in 10 parents back this move.
Out of what, like 116,000 consultation responses?
Yep, overwhelming support. But we have to ask about the reality of this approach.
Right. Is this like legally raising the drinking age to keep kids safe, which makes intuitive sense? Or is it more like permanently locking them out of the town square where their entire generation is currently organizing their social life?
Yeah, that's the big debate. Prime Minister Starmer actually leaned into the drinking age analogy. He argued that we don't look at a teenager who managed to sneak a beer and say, well, they found a workaround, so let's just repeal all alcohol laws for minors.
That's a fair point.
Right. He's arguing that the law shapes the societal expectation, even if it isn't perfectly enforceable.
Okay, but I have to push back on Meta's defense here because the blowback from Silicon Valley was immediate.
Oh, of course it was.
Meta, YouTube, Snapchat, they're all essentially arguing that blanket bans will just drive teens to unregulated, anonymous alternatives that don't have parental controls. Isn't that just a classic hostage-taker argument? Like, if you regulate us, the kids will go somewhere worse. That feels like a massive deflection from their own algorithmic responsibilities.
It definitely serves Meta's corporate interests to frame it that way, sure. But we can't completely ignore the technical reality they are pointing out.
Which is?
Well, the UK has tasked Ofcom, their government-approved regulatory authority, with a rapid study on highly effective age assurance.
Okay, HAA.
Right. Basically, how do you mathematically prove someone is over 16 on the internet?
Without making every single adult upload a government ID to Mark Zuckerberg just to watch a YouTube video.
Precisely the problem. If HEAA requires biometric scans or digital IDs, the privacy implications for the entire adult population are staggering.
Oh, totally.
And even if you solve that, how do you stop a motivated 14-year-old from using a VPN?
Right, a virtual private network.
Yeah, which masks your internet connection, making it look like you're browsing from a server in, say, the United States instead of London.
And instantly bypasses the geographic ban. So if you're listening to this and thinking, good luck stopping a determined teenager from getting on TikTok, you are not alone.
No, not at all. That is the exact enforcement nightmare the UK is facing.
And it's causing deep anxiety for families trying to navigate this. The BBC ran a Q&A that perfectly highlights this tension.
I saw that, like Liam from Manchester, right?
Yeah. So Liam manages to keep his kids off social media entirely right now. He supports the ban, but his burning question is just, what do children do instead?
Because it creates a total vacuum.
Exactly. And then Marcel, who brought up a fascinating constitutional paradox.
Oh, the voting thing.
Yes, the UK government is simultaneously moving toward allowing 16-year-olds to vote.
Right.
So Marcel asked, if they can vote at 16, where are they supposed to research political discourse or form their civic identities if they are legally barred from the primary platforms of public discussion until their 16th birthday?
It's a glaring contradiction. You are expecting a 16-year-old to make an informed democratic choice the very second they are legally allowed to log online.
Right. Then there was Hillary, who offered a very nostalgic solution.
The simple phone idea.
Yeah, she suggested tech companies should just build a simple phone that only allows calls and texts. She asked why children have smartphones in the first place.
It's an incredibly common sentiment among overwhelmed parents. Just remove the smart device entirely.
I understand the nostalgia, but let's be real about the modern ecosystem. Giving a kid a basic flip phone today is like telling a modern commuter to just ride a horse to work.
Right.
I mean, sure, it solves the speed problem, but you're completely disconnected from the modern infrastructure. Group projects, coordinating sports, accessing school portals. The infrastructure of 2026 demands a smart device.
And that is the core of the great tech collision. The infrastructure of daily life is completely migrated to platforms owned by private companies, and governments are suddenly realizing they don't control the roads anymore.
Exactly. Well, let's look closer at another massive government tech showdown. Let's transition from regulating algorithms for kids to regulating the most complex software ever created.
Yes, the Anthropic situation.
Right. Over the weekend, Anthropic, one of the world's leading artificial intelligence labs, abruptly pulled its 2 flagship models offline worldwide.
Fable 5 and Mythos 5.
Yes. If you tried to use them, you just hit a dead end. And the mechanism behind the shutdown is completely unprecedented.
Oh, totally. The U.S. government hit Anthropic with an emergency export control directive.
Citing an unspecified national security threat.
Exactly. And they ordered Anthropic to suspend all access for any foreign national anywhere on Earth.
Which, because of how global cloud infrastructure works, meant pulling the plug for absolutely everyone.
Right.
We really need to unpack what actually triggered this because it comes down to a jailbreak of the AI.
Yeah. So Fable and Mythos were highly anticipated. Anthropic actually delayed releasing the original Mythos preview months ago because its cybersecurity capabilities were deemed too potent.
Right, and Fable 5 was supposed to be the tamed, restricted version, but users bypassed those guardrails to make the AI hunt for software flaws and code vulnerabilities.
And for the listener who maybe isn't a software developer, an AI jailbreak isn't like, hacking a password.
Right, or writing a malicious virus.
Exactly. It's social engineering. You are essentially tricking the AI's linguistic processing.
It's not like recalling a defective car. It's like shutting down the entire global library system because someone figured out how to ask the librarian for instructions on making a lockpick.
That's a perfect way to visualize it. You just tell the AI to pretend it's a security researcher in a fictional simulation, and suddenly it ignores its safety training and hands over the vulnerability data.
Wow. What makes this specific jailbreak drama so compelling, though, is who actually flagged it to the government.
Right. It wasn't some underground hacking forum.
No, it was Amazon.
Wait, really?
Yes. Reporting indicates that Amazon CEO Andy Jassy, alongside Amazon's internal security research team, alerted the White House about these bypassed guardrails.
But Amazon is a massive financial investor in Anthropic.
Exactly. They essentially blew the whistle on their own partner, and the stakes escalated immediately. A report from Semaphore noted the White House was specifically terrified that a China-linked group had gained access to these cyber hunting capabilities.
Wow.
So the Commerce Department steps in and gives Anthropic roughly a 90-minute warning on Friday afternoon to shut it all down.
Anthropic complied, obviously, but they are fighting this aggressively. Their counter-argument focuses on industry standards.
Right, because they analyzed the jailbreak and claim it only identified a small number of minor, previously known software vulnerabilities.
And more importantly, they pointed out that other standard models, specifically naming OpenAI's GPT 5.5, can find these exact same vulnerabilities without even needing a complex jailbreak.
So Anthropic is basically saying, you are punishing us for a capability that cyber defenders use every single day to patch systems.
Exactly.
I really have to question the government's heavy hand here. I mean, if someone figures out how to pick the lock on a new sports car, do you recall every single car of that model globally? Or do you just fix the lock?
Yeah, that's the question.
Because right now, dropping a global ban on one specific company, does that actually protect national security, or does it just destroy that company's commercial viability?
Well, the Department of War does not share that commercial concern at all. From their perspective, this software isn't a commercial product. It's a dual-use weapon.
Oh, definitely.
We saw a tweet from the U.S. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, openly gloating. He said they kicked Anthropic out of the Pentagon 3 months ago, and, quote, every passing day proves why that was the right move.
And Kirsten Davies, the CIO of the Department of War, added to that, tweeting about prioritizing national security over revenue cycles, ending with America first, always.
The tension is just off the charts.
It is. And the visual of how Anthropic tried to resolve this over the weekend is pure surrealism.
Oh, totally.
So Anthropic executives flew to Washington, D.C. to negotiate directly with the Trump administration on Sunday.
Right.
But Sunday just happened to be President Trump's 80th birthday.
Right, which creates this absurd juxtaposition.
Exactly. You have these Silicon Valley executives in suits pulling up to the White House to negotiate, the global deployment of a super intelligent AI.
Yeah.
And out on the White House lawn, there is a full UFC fighting octagon set up for the birthday celebrations.
It is such a stark visual of the collision between the polished, data-driven world of tech and the raw exercise of political power.
But beneath that spectacle, there is a profound economic shift happening. Analysts are pointing out that AI models are becoming the ultimate software touchpoint.
Right. To win the AI race, companies like Anthropic have an economic imperative to absorb massive amounts of global data. Anthropic even recently announced a controversial 30-day data retention policy for Fable, claiming it was for safety to monitor for the exact jailbreaks the government is worried about.
Which brings up an incredibly profound point from Microsoft's Satya Nadella. He recently warned that if all the economic value is captured by a few massive AI models that eat everything they see, the global political economy simply will not tolerate it.
We really need to unpack Nadella's warning, because he was making a direct comparison to the early days of globalization.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Think about how early globalization functioned. Corporations extracted cheap labor and raw materials from local regions to enrich a few centralized wealthy hubs. It hollowed out local industries.
Right.
Nadella is arguing that AI models are doing the exact same thing with human knowledge and digital data. They extract the sum total of human output, centralize it in a server farm in California, and sell it back to the world.
And just like globalization eventually triggered massive political pushback and protectionism, we are seeing the exact same protectionist backlash against AI right now.
Exactly. Governments are realizing that whoever controls the central AI model controls the economic future. The U.S. government is essentially stepping in and saying to Anthropic, your internal safety team doesn't dictate global security. We do.
It creates a massive chilling effect across the entire industry. I mean, if every newly discovered vulnerability triggers an international export ban and a 90-minute shutdown order, the deployment of frontier AI is going to hit a brick wall.
Every single AI lab is looking over their shoulder right now, wondering if they are next on the list.
Yeah. Before we wrap up and try to make sense of this new landscape, a quick thanks to Old Glory, an iconic music and sports fan merch store. Perfect for the techie in your life. Use promo code SNARFUL for 15% off at oldglory.com.
When we connect the threads between the UK and the US today, the larger picture becomes undeniable.
It really does.
The defining characteristic of the last 10 years was tech platforms bypassing traditional gatekeepers. They bypassed taxi medallions, hotel regulations, telecom laws.
Right. But now, in 2026, the sovereign gatekeepers are striking back with unprecedented force.
Exactly. Whether it is the UK government trying to wrest control of teenage attention spans away from TikTok's algorithms, or the US government treating Anthropic's neural networks like controlled munitions, the era of move fast and break things is over.
Governments are building massive regulatory walls around the digital world.
It leaves us with a critical question about the future of our digital infrastructure. We are transitioning from an internet governed by corporate terms of service to an internet governed by federal mandates.
Which brings up a really provocative thought for you to chew on as we close out today's edition.
Yeah, let's hear it.
If governments successfully build these massive walls, if they mandate highly effective age verification that ties your physical identity to your social media presence, or if they lock down every advanced AI model behind federal security clearances, are we simply trading our digital privacy and our open internet for this promised safety?
It's a huge trade-off.
Because if the government eventually holds the keys to who can speak online and who can access intelligence, who guards the gatekeepers?
Yeah. We will be keeping a very close eye on the UK's legislation as it moves toward Parliament, and we'll track the fallout of Anthropic's White House negotiations as soon as the markets open.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.